So hello, this is Johnny Brown, Johnny B. I'm going to wait just a couple of minutes and let a few people jump on. I see some more people getting on, so just bear with me for a minute, guys. Thank you. Okay, well, how do you like this background music? Pretty cool, huh? Yeah, I'm getting really tech savvy, I'm sure. All right, guys. Yeah, there's still a couple of people joining, so I'm going to give it just another minute, and then we'll start. Thank you for joining tonight. I really appreciate you giving me some time, and I hope what I have to say will help you. That's the goal here. I'm just going to wait a little tiny bit longer and try to give people a chance to jump on here. So I'm going to go ahead. I am recording this in case those of you that get on late, or if you know somebody that this might help, if you find this helpful, I'll have the recording available somehow, some way. We'll make it available somehow. Okay. My name is John Brown, and welcome to tonight's webinar on 7 steps to a healthier gut. And so I'm just going to go ahead and share my screen because I have a presentation that'll help me stay focused. So bear with me. There we go. Okay. Actually, you know what? Before I do that, okay, Carol and Amy. So I'm taking it you guys can hear me. Could you just type yes over there, one of you, and make sure that I'm coming in loud and clear? Okay, great. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much. All right, here we go. Let's get into this. We got a lot of stuff to learn tonight. My goal is that you walk away knowing more than you did when you came. So tonight's topic is 7 ways to better gut health and why it matters. And it's an abbreviated foray into the human microbiome and why it's important, and how to reboot your gut for better health. So let's see. There we go. That works. All right. My name is John Brown, aka Johnny B. I was born in Oklahoma. I'm 56-year-old father, grandfather, husband, son, brother, and I've been called many other things. I work as an engineer at a pump company, and my specialty is project management. I love music. I love to work in my garden, my organic garden, and I keep chickens. But my true passion that has developed over the last 10 or 12 years is health and wellness in a natural way. I like to study the natural ways of healing and nutrition. And the reason is that I believe that we are all fearfully and wonderfully made. That's a deep-seated belief in my heart. And I've been witness to the things that can happen when you try a natural approach to your health. And so I'm very passionate about this. I do a lot of studying in my spare time on the computer, and I read lots of books. And so I'm not a professional health person. I'm not a so-called expert on anything, but I humbly bring to you the things I've learned and hope that they can, be helpful to you. So here's what we'll be covering. What is the gut microbiome? How do we damage our gut? That's called leaky gut syndrome. I'm going to go over some symptoms of leaky gut syndrome and the diseases associated with leaky gut syndrome. And then we're going to move to the topic, 7 ways to better gut health and why it matters. And of course, we're going to take a natural approach. And then I'm going to share with you some nutritional supplement suggestions to help speed the healing process. And then we're going to finally, we're going to end up with how to maintain your gut health. And that's very important because we're going to, those of you that are suffering or know somebody that's suffering with this, it's terrible. It can manifest itself in so many different illnesses. And for those of you that are serious about getting well, you're going to spend some time and a little bit of money, and you're going to get your gut healthy. But then we need to keep our gut healthy. And so we're going to go through all this stuff. Now, there's a chat bar where you can write me a question if you have any questions, but I'm not going to take those until the end of the session because I'm just going to kind of be a teacher for a while. But go ahead and type your questions in there, and at the end of this session, if you can hang with me, I'll answer these as best as I know how. If I don't know them, I'll just tell you I don't know, and it'll give me something to study for next time. So I love this quote from Hippocrates. He lived from 500 to 400 BC. All disease begins in the gut. And there's so much research currently going on about this, the gut, how the gut health affects the rest of your body's health. And so I think Hippocrates was probably right on the money. In fact, I know he was. So what is the gut microbiome? Because that's a big old word, and just in case you didn't know, our digestive system is comprised of a stomach, the small intestine, and the large intestine, and then the colon. And it is inhabited by bacteria and fungus and viruses and all kinds of other things. And these have a beneficial effect. They actually help us break down the food and the nutrients so that they're small enough to permeate the gut wall and get into our bloodstream. That's how it's supposed to work. Now, they say we have about 3 pounds of microbes inside and on our bodies at all times. In fact, they say there are more bacteria genes in our body than human genes. It's crazy, right? So we really live together with these little bugs and funguses and viruses, and they actually help draw the nutrients out of our food. So when we're all in balance, I heard it put this way, that the digestive system is actually outside of our body. And I thought that was such an interesting thought. And then you can think about this in your own time. But if you think about putting food in your mouth and the way it travels all the way through to the very end and and we eliminate that, it's actually outside of our body. It's protected by the single cell of our lining of our intestines and our stomach, of course. And so we just draw the nutrients through our intestines, our small intestine and large intestine, to nourish every cell in our body. So how do we get this from the beginning? Well, through my study, I've learned that through vaginal childbirth, as a baby comes through the vaginal canal, they are normally facing downward, and as they breach and come forward, they'll take a mouthful of the mother's juices that contain lots of beneficial microbiome, and that inoculates the baby's stomach and intestines. And then as the mother breastfeeds, she also feeds the child some more of her antibodies, for one thing, and the nutrients that the baby needs, and also some more probiotics. And so it's just a perfect system, the way we were created to do. And then everyone who's had a kid or been around kids that are starting to learn to crawl, they put everything in their mouth. That's how they explore their world. And through this process, they are introducing other bacteria strains and other microbiome into their systems. the good ones go down and into their system, and they use those, and the bad ones produce antibodies to strengthen their immune system. And so in the more recent times, we've been really clean freaks in our society. But back, of course, when I was a kid, and even earlier than that, the kids were allowed to crawl around on the ground and eat grass and eat dirt. And come to find out, research tells us that that was the healthiest thing for us, is to get dirty and get some of these foreign microbes in our system. And that's actually what helps us be healthy. And so the foods and the drinks that we drink and just our environment, it all introduces bacteria into our systems. I wanted to tell you a little bit of what I learned about our digestive tract. The stomach, the stomach produces hydrochloric acid, which is a very, very strong acid. And so digestion starts with your chewing. Your teeth break the food into smaller particles, and then when it gets to the stomach, the hydrochloric acids are released into the stomach along with enzymes. And the enzymes take apart anything that's not made of protein, and the hydrochloric acid breaks the protein, and then it moves into the small intestine. The small intestine has relatively few bacteria and very certain strains of bacteria and microbes in it. Not nearly as much as the large intestine. That's where the largest concentration of your bacteria reside, in the large intestine. So in the small intestine, you have very specialized bacteria, that really like to take care of carbohydrates and the things that are simply broken down in the stomach to feed your body immediately with the sugars and the glucose, and the things that are easily absorbed by the small intestine. And then the proteins, the fats, and the fiber move on down to the large intestine, where we have tons of different varieties of bacteria and fungus and things they don't even know what they are right now. And they go to work fermenting the fiber and breaking down the fats, breaking down the protein, and into small enough nutrients that can pass through the wall of the intestine into your bloodstream. It's a beautiful, beautiful system. What's the waste then is removed, and then you start all over again. So that's kind of my understanding of how our digestive system works. Did you know that about 70% of our immune cells are located in the gut? That is incredible. I've heard numbers from 80%, 60% to 80%. But so no wonder we have so many different diseases that are chronic that have popped up over the last 50 years because we have really have a toxic environment, and our food supply has really been messed with, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. There are over 100 trillion microbes in our digestive system. That's a number I can't even imagine. I can't even imagine what 100 trillion is. Stomach acid is mostly hydrochloric acid. We went over this. It has a pH level of 1. The stomach releases hydrochloric acid and enzymes to help your digestion. The small intestine has a relatively small number of microbes, and the large intestine is where the majority of our gut biome resides. So, now to the good stuff. How in the world have we damaged our gut and caused leaky gut syndrome? Well, just go to the store or go into any bathroom or public place, and you'll find antimicrobial hand and body soaps. Okay, everything is antimicrobial, antibiotics. And if probably 99% of you watching and the population here in the United States, at some point in our life, we've been on an antibiotic. And there's nothing wrong with antibiotics if you really need it. So don't get me wrong. But the fact of the matter is that about 30% of our gut bacteria is destroyed after a round of antibiotics. And some of them never recover. We never get them back. They're lost. They are a species that has gone forever. And so If you were real sick as a child and you find yourself having an autoimmune now in your 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, that might be an indication that your gut biome is out of whack and that you have leaky gut. So the hand soaps these days. Let's talk about antibiotics in our foods and our water now. And this is proven. You can look this up. The conventionally raised beef, chicken, pork it's a large scale. It's a multi-billion-dollar business, and people make their living there. I'm not cutting them down, but the way they keep these animals healthy and the way they help them get bigger and fatter is that they give them antibiotics, and lots of them. In fact, I saw a statistic saying that the majority of the antibiotics produced by our pharmaceutical companies go into the food industry, into the meat producing industries. And that's a scary thing because, they eat and they have waste, and the rainfall will take their excrement and puts it into the rivers and into the oceans. And we have a real problem these days with antibiotics and other drugs being in our water supplies. And it's a real thing. The other thing is if you live in a city and you have tap water, it's been treated with chlorine, most likely. And chlorine, why do they put chlorine in water? It's to kill bacteria. And so if you're drinking tap water that doesn't have a chlorine filter, you're actually drinking water that kills the bacteria in your gut. It's so important to get a chlorine filter on your drinking water at least. And I would go further and say on your shower water, when you have this water covering your body, your skin is the largest organ of our body, you absorb some of that chlorination, and it's not good for you. It kills bacteria. We have bacteria on our skin. That keeps us healthy. The last thing as far as antibiotics is glyphosate, which is Roundup. It's classified as an antibiotic in the chemical world. And here again, I'm gonna cut down our food, the way we do food these days. Nearly all grains are sprayed with Roundup, and I would say probably 90% of our crops, the food we eat, is sprayed with Roundup. And they've done more and more studies of processed foods that sit on the shelf in boxes. They've studied this. They pulled some out and tested it, and they found Roundup in it. And that's a scary deal. That's a very scary deal that we're consuming every day little portions of poison if we're eating that way. And even the fresh vegetables and fruit in our stores, we really don't know what they put on them. There's also chemicals that are dangerous for us, that are absorbed in our face and on our scalp and our body, that are in those products. And especially processed foods, just read the labels. The labels alone, you can see how many chemicals and food dyes and additives and preservatives they're putting in this processed food so that it doesn't rot when it's on the shelf for 6 months. And as a society, we are just eating this stuff like it's food, and it's not. It's not really food. It's food-like substance, but I really think it's jacking with our health. And but that's for you to decide. That's my opinion. So the other thing that causes leaky gut that we know of are inflammatory foods. Like sugar. Sugar is super inflammatory to us, to our bodies. It's actually a toxin. Gluten-containing products, we're going to talk about gluten here in a minute, and genetically modified foods. We have no clue what genetically modified foods do to us because our government and the scientists just decided to use us as guinea pigs. There we go. Stress. Stress is a killer for gut microbes. When your body is, when you're under stress day after day after day after day, you have a cortisol thing going on where you're in the flight or fight situation. Your adrenals are creating cortisol nonstop. Cortisol in chronic amounts for a long period of time causes inflammation. Another thing that can hurt your gut bacteria and cause leaky gut syndrome is a sedentary lifestyle. If you're not moving and exercising and you know, getting that great circulation of both your lymphatic system and your circulatory system, you're going to damage your gut. The lack of sleep is a huge one, guys. In America, we think, hey, we are so tough if we can stay up all night, especially college students. I pulled an all-nighter. And I find myself struggling to get in bed at a decent time to give myself 7 or 8 hours of sleep. But it does affect all of our health, and it affects our gut biome. I just want to tell you, I've got references listed at the end of this PowerPoint program. I'm not making this stuff up. There's tons of information on this, and I'll reference it at the end, okay? And the last thing is poor diet and nutrition. I want to talk just for a minute before I go on about the insulin cycle that causes inflammation. And it goes right along with poor diet and nutrition. And I want to explain what happens. We get up in the morning, we have a bagel and cream cheese and a glass of orange juice. Well, that bagel is made with wheat that has gluten in it. And it's a simple carb. When we eat it, our stomach breaks it down real fast, and it turns into glucose, and our small intestine sucks that glucose up, sends it to the liver, and the liver shoots it back into our bloodstream. Our pancreas says, oh no, we have too much sugar in our blood. So to keep from killing ourselves, we're going to produce insulin to bind on to the sugar. And insulin is a hormone. One of its functions is to attach to sugar and place it in the cells to use for energy. And when there's too much, it also has a job of grabbing the glucose and converting it to a fat cell so that we don't die of too much sugar in our blood. And so in the morning, we spike our insulin, and if you know anything about sugar, about an hour later, we start crashing, and an hour and a half to 2 hours later, we're starving again. And that's our body saying, you know, I'm on this sugar crash, and I need something else. And so we go at 10 o'clock, 10:30, and go get a candy bar, and we spike our insulin again. And then by lunchtime, we're starving to death. We go have a pizza or a Big Mac, and we get a big old spike again. And then about 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, we're crashing. We may go get a bag of chips in the lunchroom, and it spikes again. And then when we come home from dinner, we'll probably have a meat and maybe a vegetable and a big old thing of potatoes or macaroni and cheese, and we spike again. And so what we're doing is we're just on this vicious roller coaster of insulin, spiking and dropping, spiking and dropping. And what that does is wears out your adrenal system, it wears out your pancreas, but more than that, it creates inflammation in the body. Insulin is a hormone, and it has a special purpose in the right amount. But when you are spiking like this all day long, you are creating inflammation in your body. So keep this in mind, that if you look at our diet, and most people, we're probably very inflamed individuals walking around in the USA. And so then we introduce some things into our gut that kills bacteria. And I like to think of it like your yard. You have a plush yard. My friend Nick he takes really good care of his yard, and it's beautiful, almost like a golf course. But you know, if I walked out there with some vinegar or some poison and spread it around, that patch would die. And guess what? The first thing to come back up from this patch of dead grass, it's not grass, it's weeds. They'll spring right up and start taking over the yard. And I want you to think of our intestines, our digestive system, in this manner. Right now, we have a very healthy population of the right type of microbiome. They're all in balance. They're all working together, doing their jobs. There's enough good ones to overtake the bad ones and not let them get out of control. And then we go and we eat a bunch of sugar. We inflame our bodies, and we eat a bunch of wheat. We inflame our bodies. We have the antibiotics in our foods going down and killing little patches in our intestines. And then the bad bacteria can flourish in those little spots. Well, the lining of the intestine is only 1 cell thick. And they are where they come together, it's called the tight junction. And so when the intestine lining gets inflamed, this 1 cell protection that we have, those junctions become loose and they gap apart. And that's what causes, and that's what is leaky gut. When our tight junctions loosen up, that's leaky gut. Now, the small nutrition is not the only thing that gets through. Whole particles of food can get through there, and even bad bacteria. Okay, we'll come back to that in a minute, but that's what leaky gut is. Some symptoms of leaky gut are gas, bloating, fatigue, GERDs, and acid reflux. I'm going to stop right there. I never knew this until 2 weeks ago. I was reading about the acid reflux. We think it's a stomach problem. It's not. What happens is the small intestine, which is designed to just have a few bacteria in it, gets what we call SIBO right here down below. Small intestinal bacteria overgrowth. What happens is some of the bacteria that's supposed to be in the lower intestine migrates up to the small intestine just below the stomach. And when the carbohydrates go from the stomach into the small intestine, those guys have a party. Man, they love the fiber, they love the carbohydrates. And what they do, they produce gas. They're gas-producing microbes. And so pretty soon that gas has to go somewhere, and the shortest route out is up through the stomach, which pushes the acid up into your throat. And so if you have GERDs or acid reflux, you probably have an overgrowth of bacteria in your small intestine. It's worth looking into. There's tests for that. And so other symptoms, I know I get off track here: loose stools, prolonged constipation, weight gain, puffiness, loss of libido, joint aches, patchy skin, brain fog. And listen, here's this next point here is hard to believe, but there's so much data, there's so much research that proves this. Diseases caused by leaky gut syndrome, arthritis, rheumatoid arthritis, I believe, probably all arthritises, irritable bowel syndrome, irritable bowel disease, small intestinal bacterial overgrowth, Crohn's disease, ulcerative colitis, diverticulitis, lupus, Lyme's, multiple sclerosis, depression, celiac, Hashimoto's, eczema, acne, psoriasis, Alzheimer's, and this is pretty new technology. This is pretty new discovery. Dementia and type 1 diabetes. Wow! Who would have thought that a sick gut could cause all those problems? And I'm here to tell you that there's some thought out there that cancer is maybe one of these autoimmune problems as well. They don't know. It's something to think about, isn't it? Okay, let's get to the real good stuff. I don't want to take all night here, but I get so excited about presenting this information. Let me take a drink so I can go on. I hope you're finding value. I hope you're writing some questions down. So, steps to heal the gut. This is what I've learned by listening to a lot of different podcasts and reading a bunch of books and doing a lot of studying. when you are really, really sick, like say you have lupus, you have MS, I mean, really, really sick, the doctors have drugs to take care of the symptoms, okay? What we want to teach you is something that might help the cause, help you heal the cause. And so in the very beginning, if you're really, really sick, you need to do one thing. Everyone out there that is sick and listening and wondering to yourself, I wonder if this will work for me. You need to decide. You need to decide if you want to change, and because it takes a drastic lifestyle change. And for those of you, easy for me to say, for those of you that are not ready, it's okay. It's okay. We love you. We're not going to judge you at all. For those of you that are ready to make a lifestyle change and do anything to get your health back, you keep watching. And I want you to know that you can do this. You can get better. I believe that with all my heart. The first thing that you must do if you're really, really sick with leaky gut syndrome is a reduction diet. Now, I'm not telling you not to go to a nutritionist. We have some pretty good doctors out there that will that have learned about leaky gut and autoimmune connection, and they'll send you to a nutritionist. And nutritionist has their place. Don't get me wrong. They can do tests. They can do blood work. They can do. They can tell you what your body is reacting negatively to. So I would say if you could find a really good one that believes in natural health, do it, okay? But if you don't have the money and you want to try to do this yourself, I think you can. But you have to go. I'm going to tell you what the nutritionist is going to tell you as far as diet. You've got to do a reduction diet. You got to pull all grains and sugar and dairy and eggs and nuts. You got to get down to a very, very simple diet and heal your gut. This could take 15 days. It could take 90 days. It's worth it. You don't have to stay on that particular protocol forever. So through my research, I've listed a few things that are very important to do in this first phase, and that is bone broth. Now, bone broth is so easy to make. You go to the butcher, and a butcher that has grass-fed meat, they always have bones left over. You buy the bones, you bring them home, you cook them for 24 hours with a little bit of vinegar and a bunch of water, and it draws all the nutrients and the collagen out of the bones and out of the joints. You strain this, and then you can make your soups with this. And that collagen that is contained in bone broth is so healing for your gut. So that is the first thing you need to start doing, is having bone broth at every meal. The more you drink, the quicker your healing will be. The other thing is green leafy vegetables. There's hardly anything wrong with that. Of course, if you eat something and you don't feel good, you're going to know it, and you're not going to eat that anymore for this first section, this first phase. Recent studies have found that people, for some reason, when they cut out all carbohydrate, because even green leafy vegetable has some carbohydrate, but now I'm not telling you to do this. This is something you can try yourself. But if you just eat meat for a little while, and not too much protein, but some grass-fed beef or some wild-caught fish, along with the bone broth for a week or two, you're probably going to see a huge improvement in your gut. According to the studies that I've done, you can add good healthy fats like olive oil. A good olive oil is so healthy for you. Organic coconut oil is incredible for you. That actually has some antibacterial properties. I hadn't heard about this one until about last month. Bovine colostrum. It's a supplement you can buy, and it's supposed to be very healing for the gut. The one thing, if you have been suffering for any length of time with an autoimmune problem, you are undernourished. Your digestive system has been unable to provide your body with the nutrients that it needs. So you really, really need to get on a very high quality multivitamin. And then probiotics is so important to start introducing into your diet in this first phase, so that the good bacteria can start overcoming the bad bacteria. Aloe vera is very healing, just like bone broth, to your intestines. So aloe vera is something you can have plenty of. I don't think I could drink it. It doesn't taste good and it's kind of slimy, but it's very healing for your gut. There's an herb called cat's claw that is so incredibly powerful to reduce inflammation in your intestines. I recommend that. A high quality protein powder, and I mean, guys, make sure it's high quality and that the grind on it is so fine into the microns so that your body can absorb it. You need nutrition during this time. And if you can handle it, unsweetened almond milk or unsweetened coconut milk might be your drinks of choice with the protein powder. Now, you must cut out all grains. We'll talk about that here in a minute. Processed foods, get all the toxins out. Don't eat any fruits and starchy vegetables at first, because any overgrowth you have in your small intestine are really going to go nuts. And you really want to rest your intestines for the first week or two, or however long it takes. Cut out all sugar. Sugar is poison, okay? I'm going to say that over and over again. You get mad at me. I like sugar too. Cut out all refined sugar. Cut out all sugar during this phase. And they say that green tea is a very healthy drink to have on occasion instead of coffee in the morning. You need massive doses of antioxidants to fight the free radicals and help detoxify your body. I recommend vitamin C and OPG, which I'll talk about a little bit later. I think I said that right. I'll come back to that later. It's very important to give your body omega-3s, fish oil, and tons of it. Guys, this is a very healing, healthy oil that your body needs. Good for your brain and your heart, but it's also healing for your gut. We're all vitamin D deficient. Find an awesome vitamin D supplement and take plenty of it. You're not going to overdose. I would say 3 to 5,000 units a day, and you could even push that higher if you want. But they found that nearly every autoimmune patient is vitamin D deficient, and then vitamin E is also another antioxidant that's super powerful. Let me just say right here that there have only been, in the last 20 years, there's only been claims of 26 people dying from overdose of vitamins, but they haven't been proven. Now, over 26 years, that's a pretty low number, and they can't even prove that that's exactly what killed them. My point is that the minimum daily requirement is bogus. Don't even listen to it. Your body needs so many vitamins so that your cells can start regenerating and have energy. Don't be afraid to take massive doses of vitamins. Okay, the other thing is you got to start sleeping well. And you have to just be purposeful to get in bed and let your body heal. And you have to work on reducing stress, and you have to begin exercising. There's a study, I believe I have it in my references, where they say that they have tested people that are sedentary and their gut biome, and then had them exercise. And then after a week, they tested their microbiome, and it had changed. Exercise changes your gut bacteria. So exercising is so beneficial for your gut health and your gut recovery, okay? The last thing is kind of a spiritual thing, but I love to talk about spiritual things because that's who we are. You need, if there's something that you need to forgive someone for, just do it. Just get that done. It's not for them. You don't forgive them for their sake. Forgive them for your sake. Get that out of your mind. Get that out of your heart. Move on and focus on you. Right now, as you try to heal your gut, you need to focus on you. Take this next 10 days or 30 days or 90 days and heal your gut and let everything go. As they say when you get on an airplane before you take off, always put your oxygen mask on first before you help your child put theirs on. And that's what I'm telling you to do. If you're sick and you want to be well, take care of yourself. Forgive and move on. Okay, so the next phase, when you're starting to feel better, you can start introducing more vegetables, preferably fresh, organic, and be careful with the starch at first as you transition to more food. You're feeling better. You're probably eliminating better. You feel like you can eat a more variety of food. Start with fresh, organic vegetables of all kinds and colors, whether they're lightly steamed or cooked or raw. And let your body tell you what works for you. If you eat something and it doesn't feel good, don't eat that again for a while. Find the things that your body likes. It will talk to you if you will just listen. For starches, an occasional sweet potato is fine, but not too much carbohydrate right now until we complete the healing of your gut. As you go on, you can add some berries and watermelon and some low glycemic fruit. You want to keep the sugars down low while your gut continues to build the microbiome back up and heal the tight junctions. Please, 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 no grains, no processed foods, no bad oils, and no sugar. Please, you come so far, okay? You want to eat a Logie style diet for the next 30 to 90 days after you feel better, after the first phase where you've really reduced your diet and you've healed your gut somewhat. You're going to want to eat a low glycemic style diet. I can send you a guide for that, but you can find it on the internet as easily as anybody. These are fruits and vegetables that are low in sugar, low glycemic scale. And you can eat good, healthy, grass-fed proteins. I wouldn't do any dairy right now, just beef, chicken, pork, and wild-caught fish. I would stick with that. You might try a few nuts to see how you react. By the way, a peanut is not a nut. It's a legume. Stay away from them for now. We're talking almonds, cashews, Brazil nuts, and there's others. You can look up Logie or low glycemic on the internet. Eat that way as you are continuing your healing process. You need to probably, at this point, add a higher fiber content to your supplement, and you must continue with the vitamin therapy. You're still needing all the nutrition you can get to help all the cells in your body reduce inflammation and start firing and reproducing. And key, drink lots and lots and lots and lots of water. Water is what helps cleanse our bodies, cleanse our cells. We need lots of water. Okay, now at this point, now I don't know how long we've been going on, but who cares? If you need to drop off, fine. I'm getting to the good stuff. Now your body, by eating, by going through these two phases, what you've done is made your body able to burn both glucose as energy and convert fats into energy. So you're flexible. Your metabolism is flexible now. And so now you are prepared for the ultimate healing activity. I want to share this with you. It's a natural approach. It's been proven over time. I've been practicing it for months. I've never felt better. There's been a lot of science done on it, and it's called intermittent fasting. And it may sound crazy, but it's really very simple. You go 16 hours at least without eating, and then you eat all the food that you're going to have for a day in an 8-hour period. And what happens, they found that when you fast, for one thing, you rest your intestines, your digestive tract. It gets a break. but your body begins to heal and remove damaged cells and the invaders that are in our bodies. Incredible healing occurs during this time, and a 30-day run of this is recommended. Personally, I do it as a habit almost every week. I try to do this intermittent fasting because it makes me feel so good. It resets your entire immune system after a while, and it allows your gut microbiome to completely rebalance. And once you've practiced this for 30 days or 60 days or 90 days, and believe me, you're going to love it. Your mind is going to clear up. You won't be hungry. If you are off of the high carb roller coaster and you're eating more healthy fats and you've rebalanced your energy stores, then you can go longer and longer without food, and it doesn't affect you that much. You have plenty of energy. You can even exercise. You can think. You don't get drowsy. It's incredible. You must try this, but you have to go onto a low glycemic diet for a while to make your body used to burning both ketones and glucose as energy in your cells. That's the key. The most ultimate healing protocol, and there's tons of evidence of this, is, let's see. Oh, God, we're still on the benefits of intermittent fasting. You burn body fat, so you're going to lose weight if you're a little bit overweight. It resets the digestive system, the endocrine system, and the adrenal system. It clears your mind. You must drink lots of water. You'll feel incredible when you come. Let's see. Let's see. Oh, I'm so sorry. The ultimate healing, I'm going to back up here. The ultimate healing is to do a 3-day water fast. In other words, no food. So once you go low glycemic and then you practice intermittent fasting, it's so easy to get into a 3 or 4 day food fast where you're just drinking water. That's all you have. It is incredible what it does to your body. Do you know that the cells in your body, when you go without food for, they say at least 2 or 3 days, they protect themselves. They have a protective mechanism, but any of the damaged cells, the cells that could turn into cancer, the invaders that have gotten in through your gut, your body will attack those suckers, and your normal healthy cells will be protected. And during this 3 or 4 day water fast, it resets your entire immune system, according to research. Your whole immune system is reset after a 3 or 4 day fast. And your gut biome, it completely rebalances itself because it's down there. It doesn't have any fuel. So these bacteria that have overgrown, they're going to die off and become in balance again. It's incredible. You'll burn body fat, clears the mind. You have to drink lots of water. And one point, when you come off your fast, be sure to have a very small, healthy meal. I personally, last time I did it, I had some bone broth. I cracked an egg in that sucker and just had a small bowl of soup. I was full. I felt great. No upset stomach, no nausea. It was awesome. So if you want to heal your body, regenerate cells, stimulate healthy tissue growth, try this protocol. Get to where you can do intermittent fasting, and then try a 3 or 4 day fast. It's incredible. I highly recommend it. So we're almost done, guys. Nutritional supplements that I suggest, because I use them to speed the healing process. They may not necessarily heal you, but they help speed the process by feeding your body the things that it needs. I use products from Life Plus International. Just a little blurb about them. The reason I like their products is that they're better than organic because they are pharmaceutical grade. So it's third party. They have a third party come in and make sure they're doing everything right. But also, they remove all toxins, pesticide, herbicide, heavy metals, solvents. Their products go through such testing and purification before they are put on the market. It's incredible, and you can feel the difference. So I suggest Life Plus products. You can use whatever you want to. You got to have good supplementation, nutritional supplementation. So the Life Plus offers a daily BioBasics Light that has about 30% of your fiber. So in the beginning phases, you don't really need too much fiber. You need to rest your intestines. That's why I suggest that one. Then once you get into phase 2 and you need more fiber, the regular BioBasics has about half of what you need. It's a great product. It covers all your vitamins, minerals, probiotics, fiber, antioxidants, and all your super greens. So it's an incredible product. I do it every day. Aloe vera capsules. If you can't drink aloe vera juice from the store, aloe vera capsules, guaranteed, no pesticides in it. Vitamin C plus, I take those because they're easy to swallow, but you can go to a health food store and get vitamin C crystals if you want. And vitamin C, the thing about vitamin C is you can take mega doses of this and it will not hurt you or kill you, and you probably need lots more than you're getting. Cat's claw, that's a South American herb, very healing for inflammation. Proanthanols is 100, that's the OPC. I said OPG earlier, it's not. OPC, which is a big old long word that I can't even pronounce. This is a super antioxidant. I had suffered with skin allergies for a long time. I was introduced to this product. I take twice my body weight in milligrams. My allergies went away. These antioxidants are super, super powerful. OmniGold is the product Life Plus makes that has the omega-3 fish oils. It's an incredible product. Dr. McKee, our scientific advisor, he combined the fish oil omega-3 with vitamin D and then 3 essential oils, oil of oregano, oil of thyme, and another one I can't remember. And this thing is a super healer. I take a lot of those every day. And then, of course, you want to bump up your vitamin D. So we have a vitamin D plus K product. It's an awesome product. It's really cheap. Everyone needs to be on vitamin D. Vitamin E complex. We have a fantastic vitamin E complex. Digestive formula. These are enzymes. And we have an incredible product that you take with each meal that helps your stomach break down the food. And I suggest that's the thing that you should do from now on. We all, as we get older, produce less and less acid in our stomach. So this is a product that we use every time, every meal. We just use it, and we have very little stomach problem. Colon formula is basically super high quality fiber, and anti-stress formula to help you de-stress is awesome. Now I know somebody raised their hand. Maybe I'm running out of time or something, but I'm going to keep going, guys. This is how you keep your gut healthy. Stay on a low glycemic diet for 80% of the time. You can celebrate when you need to, but for the most part, eat fresh, whole foods. That's the key to keep your gut healthy. Fresh fruits, vegetables, and leafy greens, grass-fed beef, pork, and chicken. If you can handle dairy, and not everybody can, you can introduce raw milk into your diet. Organic grass-fed cream and butter. Butter is one of the best fats that you can put in your body if it's grass-fed. Raw fermented vegetables after you heal your gut is a great way to introduce more microbiome, probiotics, and fiber into your diet. Organic wine, a glass a day is okay. Once your gut is healed, you can enjoy special occasions and not so healthy foods once in a while, okay? The last thing, live life to the fullest, love large, and have fun. Keep up the exercise, keep drinking lots of water, keep practicing meditation and deep breathing and relaxation and stress-reducing activities. Go hiking, have fun, go swimming, go to the beach, take your shoes off, get dirty. Enjoy life. That will help bring your stress down. And you know what? let me know how you're doing. If you go on this journey, let me know how you're doing. As I said, I've got a list of references. If you want these, I'll be happy to email them to you. Here's my my email address here. If you're interested in some of the products that I just am crazy about, get with whoever invited you to this webinar. They'll be happy to share what they know about Life Plus. If you have any questions, write them down. Did you find this helpful and valuable? And thank you for joining me. Now I'm going to go over here and see if we have any questions. If you need to drop off, that is totally cool. So let's see what we have. Okay. Yes. We just see the title page. Sorry. I hope that changed, Scott. Thank you, guys. Okay, so Stephanie, if food is touted as organic or sold at farmers market, does that mean they are free of pesticides and weed killer? Unfortunately, Stephanie, no, because the government owns the word organic. Now, in my opinion, if you can grow your own garden, that's number one. The next best thing is organic food, because they are limited on what they can put on there. I would probably get to know my organic farmer. If you have a co-op or something, ask them. They'll tell you what they put on there. And if you can't do that, go to the grocery store and wash that sucker off as good as you can. Eating whole foods, even from the grocery store, is better than the packaged stuff. So there's best, better, good, you know. So use your own judgment, but no, you can't guarantee that there's not something sprayed on organic food these days. So I guess that's all the comments. Only one question. I guess I did pretty good. All right, guys, thank you for joining me. I really appreciate it, and I bid you farewell.